Hello everybody, once again, welcome to this Facebook Live broadcast. I hope everyone is having a great day. If you haven't had a great day, I hope that you think about something funny that makes you in a good mood and brings out your spirits and lets your eyes light up, and that you can finish the day strong. I wanted to come back on today because I really felt strongly like there was more to be said on the Facebook Live that I did yesterday that was specifically addressed to teachers and my Morrissey model clients, so teachers who are using our model and process, our awards platform in their classes, who might be just finally getting into the swing of things. It's the beginning of a new year and need an encouragement to keep making the main thing and really understand the impact that you're laying down for this generation that's in your classroom and the opportunity that is right before you. So without further ado, I wanted you to take a look at the reference. If you haven't seen it already, look at the reference that's above the title right here. It's from Isaiah, Isaiah 55:11. I brought my notes this time, but it says, "So is my word that comes from my mouth. It will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire and achieve the purpose for which I sent it." Yesterday we talked a lot about how the concept of words are spirit and they are life. Words are spirit and they are life. So that means that what you say when you're encouraging people in general, but those of y'all who are teachers, you're charged to speak into your students' lives. When you speak encouragement and you uplift them and you come alongside and you push them a little bit, and when they do, you're like, "Hey, great job. I knew you could do it." You're speaking life to those kids. It's more than just a cliche thing to say. You're actually breathing the life of God into that situation, because like Jesus said, he's the Word. In John 1:1, it says Jesus is referred to as the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and nothing was made that was made apart from him, the Word. So everything being made, when life happens, is as a result of words being spoken. And so I want you to realize right now, while you're just going through your day and you had experiences with those kids, and maybe some are getting you the wrong, rubbing you the wrong way, ignore all that. What can you say? And write it down. And if you're a client of mine, you know where you write it down. All right? What can you do that's actually going to breathe God's Spirit into them? Because words that are spoken from that context will not return void. One of the things we talk about with Morrissey model is how our unique process, it's intrinsic. And so you can do it one time. You can give a kid an award one time for something that you want them to learn, and it has a way of sticking with them to where they don't revert back completely to how they used to be. It sticks, and you don't have to keep having this Pavlovian-like process where you have to keep giving them an incentive every time to, that's coercing a person to try to be good. That's not actually changing and shaping a person. Well, this process, which is as simple as the words that you choose to use and the words that you say, actually, it's like you're becoming a vessel that the Lord can come upon through and actually speak his Spirit, and he's all about taking what's dead and bringing it to life. That's the gospel. And so I wanted you guys to just think about these things a little bit, because we talked a little bit yesterday about how anything that's done out of the flesh profits nothing. And so if you're just trying to make it happen, if you're just trying to do what the boss tells you to do, or the rules say that you're supposed to be doing, and that's what makes a good teacher, and you're just trying to make it happen, that profits nothing. It's scriptural. And so God's words are life. They're spirit and they are life. And so there's actual transaction that happens, that person who receives your award, if you're really coming from it from the right heart, you are actually allowing that person to have life and gets an ability to continue in that life that you laid out for them in a way that they wouldn't be able to do otherwise. I wanted to show an example from yesterday's video. I used an example for my own class where I had girls who I actually wrote up. I gave them an in-school suspension referral, and they had to go to in-school suspension. I wanted to just show you what that award looked like. So if you can see it. This is what it is. I actually blurred out the kid's name because I didn't get permission, right? But it was called the Act of Love Morrissey Award. So I think Lauren, hey Lauren, give me a like or something if you're seeing this. I know yours is the Sully Bear, so you might say something like the Act of Love Sully Bear Award, but it was just said for your proper response. I know that looks backwards on here, but anyway, I said, hey, student, It's no secret that you like to play and have a good time. The only problem is you like to laugh and provide unnecessary comments at any time you feel fit. Remember, there's a time and a place for everything. For this reason, you required a different form of love that doesn't feel good for a time, but soon produces a good fruit in your life. And so if you look over here in the corner, I just kind of had a little tag. A simple act of love can make extraordinary things happen, and little personalized touches that kind of let it sink home. But I can tell you for a fact, from that point forward, I could talk to that student, I could relate with that student and remind them. I'd say, hey, do you need a little bit of love right now? And I never really had to have a situation blow up. They had life, the inner resources to actually make positive decisions and to do and employ positive change. That's my definition of life. Because when you don't have the ability or the inner resources to be able to do that, that's death. And it leads to death. It leads to unfruitfulness in anyone's life. And so these are just some of the things I wanted to remind you guys of. So stay at it. His words will not return to him void. And so when you actually take the time, say something from the right heart, really encourage your students. If you write it out, writing it down is so important because people can always go back and re-look at it and they can hang on to it and get that truth into them. It actually is not going to return void. So it will have power to fulfill that which it was sent. You're not the one who really is in control of that, right? But you're partnering with, I believe, the Lord when you are committing to really just do something out of love. That's just speaking life. That's just spirit. It's life. And it will accomplish that which it was sent and the purpose by which it was sent. Think about that. No word will return void that's out of the mouth of the Father. That is the gospel. If for those of you who are faith-minded, I mean, that's the gospel. It's not about making good people better or bad people good. It's really taking something that's dead and bringing it to life. We're hopeless, and as far as I see it, without Jesus. He brought something that's dead to life. If you look at the gospel where he actually raised a person to life, Lazarus, in John 11:43, I got my notes today so I don't mess up the references. One of the things Jesus said to a dead Lazarus who was just a goner, he was starting to stink, he said, Lazarus, come forth. And at his word, Lazarus came out and his lifeless body returned. It was a very literal example that we're given there, but it's very true in a spiritual sense when it comes to how we choose to or not choose to communicate and speak life into those around us. And the act of taking the time to do that is a demonstration of love. And the words that you say, hey, it's worth its weight in gold. And so I just wanted you guys to think about some of those things. Jesus is defined and referred to as the Word. And before he came down and walked among us, he was spirit. And my words are spirit. And they are life to those that receive it. And you can kind of partner with them through this process the way I see it and actually be life for your kids. So think about this as you're going about your work day, as you're starting the process. Lauren, I know you're watching. I want you to continue to, maybe you had a stressful day today, I don't know. But get on the horse. You have the attitude to do it. Take the time to write that out. You're making an impact. You're speaking life. It will not return void. It will not return void. It will accomplish the purpose for which it was sent. And there's a purpose behind it. And it's going to get kids through the hard stuff that you don't know what's going on. And it's going to allow this, like we talked about yesterday, you're slinging your stone, right? That award is you're slinging your stone. It's mighty in the hands of the children of God who wield it. And so when you use this process as a sling and a stone, and you take down the giant that kid's facing, and you open up hope, and you give them the ability, because that word that goes out will not return void, to fight through and get through whatever it is that they're going through that's so tough. It's no eye can see, no ear can, you don't have any idea what that little gesture is going to do. Don't underestimate the small things. We major on such minor little things, and we minor on majorly things. Recognition and taking the time to speak life into your students is the number one priority, in my opinion, that an educator should have when they walk into the classroom. Everything else falls in line after that. And if it's not about that, then it's about the wrong thing. Okay? So please stay tuned. We're going to start hopefully soon, either tomorrow or the day after. I hope to be having a newsletter coming back out that'll kind of go over some of the topics that we talked about the last couple days. We'll probably include it on the podcast as well. If you are one of my clients, I'm offering a complimentary coaching session going into this school year, completely free. Your principal doesn't have to worry about paying me anything. But we can go over any questions you might have, or just kind of encourage you to keep going at it, or maybe think of some creative things to spice things up. But anyway, I love you guys. I want to get this message out to help give people understanding, because I think there's a temptation when you hear the concept that you could take it too lightly and you don't realize what's actually going on. We got to get our mind off of what is seen and look at what's unseen. Everything that's made is made by what was unseen, as far as I see it. And the words that you speak is the very word of God. It's actually the Spirit going forth, and it will not return void. It's a powerful thing. And what you have the opportunity to do, the lives that are in your classroom every day, and the time that you get to spend with them every day, I mean, who's more qualified than you to make that difference and to be a vessel to speak life, to pump life into those kids. So anyway, if anyone's interested in what I do, I'm Chris Morris, Morrissey Model. We have a process that I believe the Lord gave me that I am trying to get out into the world and let people see a different way to do this thing that called education, that everyone's trying to scramble around figuring out how we're supposed to do it. I think the system should be relationship based. Right now it's very heavy, it's testing based, and there's a lot of things behind why that might be. I think it has a lot to do with money personally. Man, I just have this dream. I think I was writing this the other day. What would it look like to have a relationship-centered education system that actually values the kids and drawing out who they are, to where the priority of the education system, from the teachers to the principals, everything from the top down, is know your kid. Find what's good about them and speak life into that. Draw out who they are and help support them actualize who that is, and give them guidance to do that. I think that's just a powerful thing. And so that's my dream. If you have some thoughts on it, leave a comment below. But have a great day. I hope everyone just gets something out of this that they can take into their practice and in a beneficial way. See you next time. Bye.